that Stephen Lorenzo was behind bars, could investigators positively link him to the mysterious disappearance of Jason Galehouse or to the murder of Michael Wacholtz? Schweikert and Lorenzo were in fact popular figures in the Tampa Bay nightclub scene and usually had easy access to unsuspecting young men.
Lorenzo was someone that I had remembered as inviting people after the bar had closed. He would invite a large amount of young men to his home for a party.
Investigators found a large collection of flyers in Lorenzo's home depicting missing men from various locations in Tampa. Lorenzo and Schweikert frequented the same nightclubs, and often in online chats they would reference missing men from those locations.
Schweikert and Lorenzo were part of an underground culture of slavery, snuff films. There's actual online there were actual chats between Schweikert and Lorenzo of these types of things, of doing a snuff film or selling an individual for a snuff film, bondage and slavery, and using these things for torture. There's pages and pages of conversations that they had between each other online. And it's scary. It's scary to know that this could be happening next door to you and you have no idea.
Conversations between Scott Schweikert and Lorenzo over the internet read like something out of a horror movie. They talked about making young men and boys disappear and how oftentimes these people are regarded as runaways.
Schweikert of Chicago, Illinois was not a stranger to the police. He had his brush with the law and had been arrested when a young man escaped from his apartment after being drugged and assaulted by Schweikert. But it would be through Schweikert that a trail would lead to Stephen Lorenzo's closely guarded chamber of horrors. It was following several weeks of chats with Lorenzo over the internet that Scott Schweikert decided to leave his home in Chicago, Illinois, and travel to Florida to meet there with his like-minded twin soul to fulfill his demented fantasies of bondage and torture. Upon his arrival, Schweikert heads to the city of Orlando, and there purchases a condo in a touristy part of town. Only miles away from Tampa Bay, and conveniently close to Stephen Lorenzo's Powhatan home. Scott Schweikert rents an apartment close by Lorenzo's house. And there they meet frequently and begin to give shape to their twisted plans. Undercover agents set up a phone conversation with Schweikert after a meeting with him in an internet chat room. Schweikert is under the impression that investigators in the chat room are potential sexual predators and confides in them about a young man which he had previously met around downtown Tampa and whom he wanted to subject to the date rape drug GHB and then sexually assault him.
Not having the means to make the plan happen.
Yes, sir. I wonder if I once had a guy that lived, a friend of mine that lived in Charlotte area, and he had it any time. I wonder if he would send me a little bit, like in some kind of secret bottle or something in the mail. He's done that before. But I should be able to.
Before 9/11 or after 9/11?
It was after. This was only a couple months ago. It was just a very, it was small amount in a bottle. It was inside of another package. It was like something that even if someone caught it at the post office, I don't think they would deal with it. But you never know.
The thing is, though, is that going to be enough to take him down?
I know. That's why.
Enough to take him down.
So you think on a boy his size, it would be a couple caps?
Well, if he's 5'10", and 180 to 200 pounds,
Right.
He's not, by any stretch of the imagination, a small boy.
Right.
I mean, how big are you?
Just 5'10" and 160 pounds.
Yeah,
5'9", 5'10's maybe even pushing it.
All right, so you're 5'9", 150 pounds. I mean, he's got like 30 pounds on you.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I mean, a capsule won't even put you down. You know, so we would have to figure at least 2 capsules.
Yes, sir.
And then we'd have to see how he's doing after that. And if that wasn't enough, we may have to slip another capsule into another drink.
Now that agents have the evidence they need, they can finally bring Schweikert in for questioning. But no one could prepare investigators for the horrors that Schweikert was about to reveal. He confessed having met Galehouse on December 20th at the 2606 North Armedia Lounge. He illustrated how Lorenzo and himself cut up Galehouse in pieces and placed the parts in trash bins around the city of Tampa. Even authorities were surprised and shocked at the turn of events.
Scott Schweikert's confession was astonishing. He described in luxury of detail the weekend of carnage at Lorenzo's home, or chamber of horrors.
According to Schweikert, Lorenzo and himself had lured young Galehouse to Lorenzo's home with the premise to continue the party elsewhere. While he distracted Galehouse, Lorenzo prepared the GHB-laced drink for the unsuspecting victim. Apparently, Galehouse drank several times.
GHB is an odorless powder or liquid. 3 drops is equivalent to 10 whiskey shots. In higher doses, it can lead to coma.
He began to feel dizzy and showed signs of coming under the effects of the infamous date rape drug. Now they had their first victim, and they had him just where they wanted him to be. Galehouse